You know you're an old salt when you talk about events that happened 40 years ago instead of 4 days ago. Well, here's an old salt's suggestion about the coast to all of you young salts. Leave it better than you found it. Over the past 46 years, I've had the pleasure of working and fishing with some fine men and women who made the Texas coast better than they found it. If I could name them all, we'd miss Charlotte Plummer's supper tonight and breakfast tomorrow. So instead of getting booed off the stage, I'll name 3 men who I think you'll agree have made this big saltwater crescent a better place. First off, Ben Koshin, since I literally wouldn't be here without his courage and his plodding, methodical, careful way of going. Ben risked his life to run his big Mako boat across the Pascavallo surf line to pull my dumb behind out of the Gulf of Mexico. It may have been spring of 1982. We were headed for Pascavallo, walk across Sunday Beach and fish in the surf. Now, Ben is plodding, methodical, and careful. He wears a life vest in the surf. He may wear it in the shower, because he sinks like a stone. No, like a boulder. He was fishing the first bore while I was out there at the third bore. Not for long, I found myself in the Gulf of Mexico as shark bait. I forgot to say on the way, Ben had noticed a little break in the surf line. He said, I think I could run right through there into the Gulf. I said, oh, come on, Ben. Let's get into the surf, catch some of those big trout at the third bore. Well, the change of tides got me, and I found myself in the Gulf of Mexico. Ben saw my white hat bobbing along offshore. He waded back to the boat and ran to that opening in the surf he had noticed. Then he ran his big Mako through into the Gulf of Mexico without broaching and picked my dumb butt up before the sharks got me. Embarrassing, but it made for a chapter in my award-winning novel, The Trip, 2nd chapter. Just saying. Ben Koshin provided some of the most important elements of the GCCA and the CCA. You probably have a Koshin bumper sticker on your truck, boat, or kayak. He helped begin the Tide magazine and donated fundraising fine art for 35 years. Chuck Nizer. Chuck was the first enforcement chairman for the new GCCA. Get the nets out of the water. Make redfish and trout game fish. Now, there were threats from commercial fishermen to burn his house and boat. If memory serves, about 1980, when I rode in his truck, he had a .45 pistol under the seat, a shotgun handy, and maybe a backup on his ankle. Now, the nationally known guide peacefully works for responsibility on the water with Flatsworthy and We Will Not Be Tamed. Ron Koshin. Ron had a vision some 18 years ago and brought to Port O'Connor one of the finest veterans support efforts in America. Some 250 wounded veterans are treated to a weekend of support that brings tears to the eyes of big tough guys like me. Over some 17 years, Ron has been responsible for getting thousands of veterans and their families on the water, many for the first times in their lives. I have a video, if we can get it on the screen, of Ben Koshin, Chuck Nizer, and Ron Koshin. I think you'll agree these 3 men represent all of us in leaving the Texas coast better than they found it. Thank you.